Do not take product if you are hypersensitive.
Oh, hey, Internet. And welcome back to the Intoxicated podcast. If you're brand new to the podcast, I am your host, Sarah, and this is a podcast where I usually have my friends on. We have a couple drinks of their choice, and we talk about life. We talk about something that they have experience in, something that they have stories about, and we get into it. So this week is a very special episode for me. This subject matter is very close to my heart. I have my friend Rebecca on the podcast. She's a returning guest. She was on my episode with my friend Mary, the wedding episode. It's a big two-parter, and that is episode 53. And recording that episode with her kind of triggered us talking about doing an episode together again. Now, there's a lot of ways that I usually get guests for shows. Sometimes I will want the person on, and I'll try to figure out a topic that we can go over with them. Other times I think of the topic and I kind of ask around to various people that I think could talk about it. And in this case, it was Rebecca, and I couldn't be happier because her and I relate a lot about this topic. And this topic for this week is body confidence and body image and self-esteem and just general confidence. This was definitely a topic that we kind of had to discuss a bit beforehand, kind of figure out how to tackle it, because it is a big one, and it's certainly not over. I do intend on doing more episodes like this. This one is a long episode. Surprise, surprise. We touched on a lot. I gotta say, it took me a long time to actually be okay with my body, and actually be okay with just myself as a person. I was always a weird kid. I never really fit in. I still kind of feel like I don't fit in anywhere. So that kind of emotional feeling like you're not fitting in, plus all this body image pressure from media, feeling like I always had to compare myself to other women, confidence was always really hard for me on both ends, both emotional and physical confidence. So it's been a hell of a journey. I feel like I'm in a really good place right now in terms of body confidence. And oddly enough, I'm the heaviest that I've ever been. I did gain some weight this past year, but it is what it is. It was really, really hard, but I really changed my way of thinking about my body. And doing that has made all the difference for me. And I can't speak enough about finding hobbies and finding things that you enjoy that make you happy, because that's how I actually got a lot of my confidence. Actually, a lot of my confidence came from starting this podcast, as cheesy as that sounds. It really did make me a more confident person. It made me not ashamed of who I am, and it made me emotionally happy. And when you're happy on the inside, it really does shine through on the outside. And when you get to that point, you can look at your body and say, this is what it is, and I'm gonna just love it for what it is. So me and Rebecca talk a lot about that. We actually go back to childhood days, to college days, and we kind of get deep into all the different things that impacted us and how we think about body image and body confidence. It's a very brutally honest episode. We are very honest about how we think as women, how we've been socialized to think. So these are things that we are both still working on to this day. We both admit many times in the episode that we are certainly not perfect, and confidence is not like a black or white thing. It's something you're gradually working on and kind of continuously dealing with. So we're both in a good place, but there's definitely things we can work on too. So it's a journey, and that's why I wanted to do an episode about this, because I think this is something a lot of people can relate to. And I do want to also mention that I did an episode with Jay about this from a guy's perspective, and that was an extremely interesting episode. So I want to get more perspectives on this and keep talking about it, because like I said, it is a continuous challenge for everybody. At one point in the episode, we actually even break out a scale and we weigh ourselves. Ooh, yeah, I know, crazy, right? But the whole point of it is that as women, we are constantly worried about the weight, the number, what shows up on the scale, and really in the end, both of us are at a point where we can look at that number and it's not affecting us like it used to, because we are confident now. That kind of segment is very interesting. It's kind of cool to hear our initial kind of gut reactions to the number and like what goes on in that process. It's really interesting, and I can't stress enough the importance of really trying not to compare yourself to other women. I know that's a cliche and that's really easy to say, but But the second I changed my thinking and I stopped doing that, I really did become a more confident person. So that's another aspect of it that we touch on. It's a jam-packed episode, guys. So I know that this is a long intro, but this episode is really special to me. It's close to my heart. I really hope you enjoy it. Please let me know what you think of it. I do want to say a big thank you to Rebecca for coming on and doing this. Again, it's a very personal subject, and talking about it with her was a really great experience, and I think it really bonded us as women. So thank you so much, Rebecca. You're amazing, and I love you. I didn't want to cut this one up into 2 parts because there didn't feel like there was a proper place to do that. I'll try my best to leave timestamps below about kind of what we cover, so you guys kind of have a guide, because I know that longer episodes can be tricky to get through. So if you do get through it, oh my God, thank you so much, because it's a doozy. Housekeeping things. So definitely make sure you're following the podcast on social media. We are killing it on Instagram right now. We are really getting the following up on there, and we just want it to keep going. So make sure you do follow us on Instagram, and that's Intoxicated Podcast. Same thing on Facebook, Intoxicated Podcast. On Twitter, we are _Toxicated. And Patreon. We do have a Patreon page. That's patreon.com/intoxicated. There's various reward levels on that page that you can check out if you are interested in supporting the show. We would love you forever. We do have 2 awesome Patreons right now, and that is Tyler and Zoe, and they are high rollers. They're coming in at over $10 a month for both of them, so they are getting bonus episodes from us and early access as well. So the more the merrier. We would obviously love more Patreons. So if you are interested in supporting Intoxicated, make sure to check out our Patreon page. And big thanks to Tyler and Zoe for supporting the show. Me and Corey actually sat down recently and recorded part of a segment we're going to do, which is just essentially answering 100 questions. So we actually did the first 25 on a bonus episode for Tyler and Zoe that should be coming out in a couple weeks, and that is specifically for them. So if you want to hear us answer fucked up questions, become a Patreon and you can get those bonus episodes. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you find podcasts. Can't stress that enough. That way you don't miss an episode. Subscribe as well to Intoxicated Reviews so you don't miss those episodes either. Anyways, guys, so sorry for the long intro. I am going to get to this very special, very awesome episode with Rebecca. And welcome back to the Intoxicated Podcast, everybody. We are here with a returning guest from not that long ago, actually.
Can't keep me away from Intoxicated.
It's Rebecca. Rebecca, welcome back to the podcast. How are you?
I am fantastic. Happy to be here drinking and chatting with you.
This is, I just want to say, the best spread, the best craft services any podcast will ever, like, there's no competition. We agreed to just kind of hang out and chat a bit before actually hit and record on this one, because this is going to be a doozy of a podcast. We might not even get to everything we want to get to in the allotted time, but we're going to try our best. But we want to hang out and just chill a bit beforehand. And Rebecca said that she was bringing snacks, and I was like, okay, considering that you showed up with a cake last time, I should maybe prepare for some more healthy options. So I cut up some strawberries and
delicious strawberries,
and I was ready. And you brought Monster Sticks, cheeseburger spring rolls, and a veggie plate.
Balance.
And
it's all about balance.
It's a fantastic spread right now. And I also have chips, I just want to note, on my table over there, just in case.
Oh, I see.
We going all out for this one, because we don't give a shit about what we eat right now, right?
We want to eat things that taste good and make us feel good.
That's exactly it. And they make me feel really good. Those Monster Sticks are delicious. Sponsor us.
Everyone loves deep fried cheese. Also, I'm clearly gunning for my Taki Award, if that is what your award is called. I'm clearly gunning for it with my snacks and
You'll have to
prepared.
do an episode like next year around February to get in like right at the end.
Yes.
As well, so I'm like, you're more fresh in my mind then. But no, I won't forget this at all. This has been.
I just see you angling for more. Oh no, you'll have to come back again, so you're fresh in my mind. I see how you work.
Oh man, it's just great. I mean, I really like having the post podcast powwow because I just feel it just loosens people up a bit more, and it's good to have a game plan when you're dealing with this issue. But first, let's get to our drink. So there's kind of a story behind this from your end. So I asked you what you wanted to do. and you said, we should do skinny bitches. And I was like, what is that?
Yes, the skinny bitch.
So this vodka and Crystal Light?
Yes, when I was in university, a popular pre-drink to was Crystal Light and vodka, and that we called a skinny bitch. And we did it because there was no extra calories in it, and theoretically it would keep you skinny,
right?
And isn't that kind of fucked up?
And it's also very fitting for this episode because it is really fucked up. But it was a good choice. Good choice for the theme, but we adultified it a little bit.
Yeah, we're not 20 anymore.
We're not 20 anymore. We are most certainly not. I am 31 and you're 30.
Yeah.
So
soon to be 31.
Soon to be 31. So we did vodka, Crystal Light. Was it coconut pineapple?
Mm-hmm. Coconut pineapple,
really
Crystal
delicious,
Light.
Actually.
Very tropical.
A little bit of Ironworks cranberry liqueur. Mm-hmm. And soda water. Is that it?
Yep.
So this is just it's actually really good.
Very tropical.
I like it. I like it a lot. Mm-hmm. Just the right amount of tart, and it's delicious. Bring it in for a cheers.
Yes.
And we'll probably be taking drink breaks, because, yeah.
As you do.
Want to make, like, a drink break song? Like, it's a drink break. Like, I don't even really know. But, like, just some little bit of music to put in there. But we're going to not beat around the bush with this one. This episode is about body image and body confidence, and I've been wanting to do it for a long, long time. Back in the earlier days of the show, we did an episode with my friend Jay, kind of about that, but I was hearing it. I was hearing it from a guy's perspective, which was really interesting. That episode's amazing. I will link to it because it kind of goes hand in hand with this one. But this is coming from a woman's perspective, our perspective, and yeah.
And funny how the more you talk amongst women, and even though everyone has a very different experience in life, a very different upbringing, there's certain similarities that just seem to glare.
Yeah.
And even when you and I were talking earlier this evening, just about little anecdotal facts and things that are in our everyday life. And it's like, oh, I do that too.
Yeah.
Or,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've totally thought that. And you think that you're crazy and that no one else thinks that way. And then you hear someone else with totally different life experience feeling and thinking and experiencing things in a similar way.
It's a universal thing that I think connects all of us, is that pressure as women, and I mean across all genders and everything as well, but I think women deal with it a bit more harshly. Not to say it doesn't affect men, but
I think men have different confidence issues.
Yeah.
Like some of them are related to body and weight. But I think for women, it touches every single one, even if it's just in a minimal way. And I certainly do know people who have huge self-confidence all the time, but they still are faced with the issues of body talk.
Yeah.
And considerations. And even if they don't feel it themselves or feel fat or unconfident, they're still faced with dealing with people or hearing about it or talking about it in a way that I don't think men really are.
Yep. And comparing yourself to other women. Huge.
Constantly.
Huge. It's probably like, and I like kind of like almost starting with that one because it's something I've struggled with. Even kind of still. I think it's getting better for me, but it's really fucking hard not to compare yourself to other women when, especially in the media, you're seeing what beautiful is supposed to look like. And if you don't fit that, then I must not be beautiful. And it's really heartbreaking.
And I don't even know, I think I've matured a bit in my life, and I know we're gonna go back and talk about like our different stages of an awareness in terms of weight and looks and appearance. But I can definitely say that even today, I don't necessarily put value towards or compare myself in terms of what I look like and what someone else looks like, but I absolutely acknowledge almost every woman's weight, almost every woman's body size. And I don't treat them differently. I don't think of their personality differently. But it's something I notice.
Yeah.
And consider. And that's fucked up. You shouldn't be considering that about everyone. You shouldn't even be noticing it. But it's just so ingrained in me that I pay attention. And
it's ingrained in you because
it's
been picked out about you before. And so, like, anyone who's had, whether that be being bullied in school or had family pick you apart, like, it becomes stitched in your mind, like, looking at these things on other people. And you're right. It's fucked.
Even going the positive way, I can't tell you how many friends in the past 5 years where I maybe only see them once a year, once every 2 years. Every time I see them, they're like, oh, wow, you look so great. You've lost so much weight. And it's like, dude, I lost 15 pounds 5 years ago.
Right.
And now this is the thing that you're bringing up every time you see me? Like,
yeah.
I struggle with my own self-confidence and my own weight, but like to have someone else notice it and say it every time they see you, it's like, is that all I am?
Really, though. And we gotta start doing this.
Or how big was I before? I didn't think there was a problem. You were my friend before. You didn't say anything about how big I was then. But now that I'm slightly smaller, it's something that comes up every time you see me.
See, and now if you put that back on, it'll come up again.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
Or maybe
it's not right.
Or maybe it won't come up again.
Right.
But now will I be worried about it? Why is it a thing we even talk about with each other?
This is a glimpse into the mind of, like, women probably, like, every single fucking day. And let me tell you, like, one thing I said to Rebecca before I turned the mic on was, like, I'm really lucky in my life to be friends with such a wide variety of body types. I have, like, really thinner, almost, like... And I'm using fucking air quotes when I say this, like, perfect body type. Like the body type that you would see on, like, a Victoria's Secret model. Like, I have friends like that. I have larger friends. I have friends that are so large that they're going through surgery for it. I love all of my friends totally equal, but at the same time, every single one of them has insecurities.
Doesn't matter.
Even that one that, you know, we strive to be, or like the ideal, according to the fucking media, and this is not me saying this, but like according to the media, like the ideal body type, they still find things about themselves that they don't like.
And sometimes it's the pressure of being the ideal body type.
Yeah.
I have a girlfriend who has a thigh gap, and she's like, I fucking hate that people have glamorized this thigh gap. This is just a part of me. She's like, I didn't do anything to get it. This is just how my body was born. And she feels that other women throw her shade.
Right. They're jealous.
They're jealous. And she's like, this is just my body. She's like, sometimes I'd rather be bigger.
Right.
But I can't do anything about it. It's my genetics.
Yeah. Yeah. We're in these vessels, and this is what we got. And we got to work with them somehow. We have to learn to love them. And it's funny what you say about the thigh gap thing, because I think I posted on Facebook even. I was on Snapchat and I saw this like ad that was like, get rid of your hip dips, I think they were called.
Oh, it's like... I didn't even know there was a name for that. Jesus Christ.
And I have those. Like, I'm not... Like, I literally do. Like, it's something that I've learned to accept. I don't know if I love them yet, but I've learned to accept it about my body, and that's why I love high-waisted clothes, because they just kind of hide those. But like seeing ads like that, it's just like, oh great, there's another term for something that I'm deeply insecure about.
Great. So it's not just me who's noticing it. Clearly, if there's a name, other people are noticing it.
And if there's an ad about how to get rid of it,
because people will make money off of everything. That's
seriously
the other thing that's messed up, and
it's really messed up. Oh man, well, we're gonna go back to the very beginning of life.
Very beginning
when we came out of the vagina. No, I'm just both of us.
And our mom's officially hated us forever. Oh no, this could explain some things.
We won't get to that. But we're gonna kind of talk with us in stages of life because we're both around the same age, and we both expressed that our childhood definitely started the train of insecurity, I think, for both of us. So childhood, what was childhood like for you? What were you like as a kid? What things started kind of impacting your life in terms of confidence at that young age? I mean, I don't even really know what age it would start, but
yeah, and I'm trying to think, and it's one of those hard things. When you're a kid, you act in a certain way, and you just act what happens naturally. And I'm just starting to realize it now as I have friends who have younger children. You don't know how to behave until your parents or other people in society start telling you how to behave. And I've noticed it because a lot of 4-year-olds are psychotic assholes, and sometimes they're like good-natured people, but they're just testing society. So when you're a kid, you test everything, and
it's true.
I can remember as a small child being told, talk quieter. Use your indoor voice. Sarah, have you ever heard that one?
I still hear that one. Even today when we were talking about the Yanny versus Laurel thing. A friend burned me being like, you just talk at a really high frequency, so obviously that's what you hear when you... Because you... I was like,
that's what you're used to.
It's so true, though.
But it's stuff like that. So I can remember, I can remember one of my godmothers being like, just, gotta talk slower, gotta talk quieter, you gotta not be annoying, so from a young age it's always like, okay, well, what do I have to do so people want me around?
Yeah. What can I do to change myself?
What can I do to change myself so people like me? And I can't remember the first time somebody mentioned my weight in particular, but I can remember being a little girl at my grandparents' house and them following the zone diet.
The zone diet.
It's pretty much the same thing as keto or paleo or anything.
Any of those
that are low carb, South Beach diet, low carb, high fat.
Okay.
And my grandparents were in their 70s. They were active. They were busy. They were normal sized people. But they were following this diet. And it wasn't just them. It was them. It was my mom. Was my dad to certain effects. Sarah already knows this, but my dad's a really big guy, between probably 350 to 400 pounds. He's kind of fluctuated my whole life. Most self-confident person I know.
Amazing.
It's just incredible. But also just aware of the limitations of being bigger and the physical drawbacks, and not just the physical, but the way society views you. So even though he wasn't always following a diet, he was always kind of aware and preaching things. And so I don't even remember when it started, but from a super young age, everyone was concerned about their weight. And not only were they concerned about their weight, they were concerned about my weight. My mom, we weren't allowed to have juice at home.
Oh, really?
Juice is fattening.
Oh, God. I think I grew up on OJ, but that was about it. That was the only juice we ever had.
The only times I would have been allowed to have juice, it would have been super, super watered down.
Really?
Or at my dad's house, because my parents were divorced. So my dad had much more flexible eating habits than my mom. Yeah, it was almost more about the food stuff than the weight to start with. No, we're regular bread, sliced bread.
Okay.
Not a thing that was allowed in our house.
Really?
Yeah, so she was just really, really in on that. And I was bullied a lot as a kid. Definitely the F word was thrown around a lot. And in our pre-powwow, you were asking if I was fat as a kid, and looking back at photos and stuff, I wasn't.
Right.
I definitely wasn't even they didn't have to buy me plus size clothes, but kids are jerks and kids are going to say different things. So I was definitely called fat a lot as a kid. My mom super restricted food. And she also sent me to like fat camp.
That's crazy.
And it wasn't even like she didn't actually send me to the fat camp. She sent me to like fat after school activity. I don't know, like what would you call it? Like swimming lessons or sewing lessons or karate, but it was like nutritional training.
It's like really subtly getting that in there. Like
and it was like it was at the hospital. It was sanctioned. It was probably like great in terms of like teaching me about healthy living habits and how to like create a balanced diet and stuff. Put to my self-esteem. Oh, it was just torture. They even like weighed me in a saltwater pool and did like because that's how you get the most accurate weight reading. And then they did this like electrode thing where they like do your body fat composition and
crazy. So that's really intense for a young kid to go through.
It was super, super huge and super messed up. And
yeah.
When I look back on it now, it's like even as a young kid, I was probably like 13 when that was happening. So like
puberty age.
Yeah,
right.
You know,
the best time ever.
Best time to be like really telling your daughter that, you know, you got to be watching your weight, and so much so we're going to bring in doctors.
The shitty thing about all this is like I feel like instilling in kids the idea of a healthy lifestyle is a good thing, but we need to not make it around weight or the word fat. Like, we should be talking about, like, other things as well. Like, fucking, you could get heart disease when you're older, or, like, stuff like that. Like, there's nothing wrong with instilling these, the healthy eating and physical activity. I do think that's really important, but, like, it's the fact that it's so focused around weight at such a young age. Like you said, like, we're still fucking growing, man. Like,
I hadn't hit puberty yet. I hit puberty when I was 16. I was a late bloomer.
Ooh, that's really late.
I was a little worried. I was like, if I don't get my period, I'm gonna like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was very late, like just before starting grade 11. That last summer between grade 10 and 11. I know.
Really?
I try not to brag to people because most people are like, are you kidding me? You didn't have to deal with that shit. But it didn't. And so my body was still growing and changing and all of these things. And for my mom, it was just all focused on the body image.
Yeah.
And I feel bad, and I don't want to throw my mom under the bus because I know she did this for me because she felt like she didn't have that support and that knowledge and that information when she was growing up.
Yeah.
And she shared some of her struggle with me where when she went out on her own, she felt lost and alone and emotionally ate a lot and gained weight that way. And she says because she didn't know better. Mm-hmm. So she was just trying to instill in me this
what
knowledge.
She didn't get.
Exactly. The stuff she didn't get. But at the same time, she was instilling all of her own insecurities and self-confidence issues and self-doubt. And it just sucked. And
that does suck.
You were saying too about
Same thing. Yeah. Like, I don't think my mom started actually getting at me about weight until like college days or so. Like high school, college, but like I was a skinny kid. I wasn't chubby at all. I ran around a lot. We were talking about the Spice Girls thing about how I was coined as Sporty Spice. But like this is the weird fucked up thing about it, and this just goes to show like how much of it is inward, because I did not feel like me being athletic and shit like that. Like I didn't really think I was Sporty Spice, but it got pinned on me because I had dark hair and I was thinner. And then I did, I'm Sporty Spice, so I gotta take soccer. So I signed up for soccer and all this. But like deep down, I was like, I'm Ginger Spice.
Well,
deep down, that's
it's so easy to fall into the role society labels you as, because it's like, of course, this is what people want.
Like that was the thing about it. Like there's not one girl I talked to that hasn't said I was this Spice Girl. Like you instantly are like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be.
They were huge role models for our age, where it was like, these are cool, older, successful women. I mean, and like you look back at it now and you're like, oh yes, and they're like their power girl band
Right?
of. But that's what it was. They were role models for us. So like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Pick
Attach
one or
yourself to one of
associate
them.
one. Yes.
Yeah. And again, it goes back to looks. Like, my personality was not Sporty Spice, but because my looks looked more like Mel C.
Yeah.
Sporty Spice.
It was
like,
easy.
That's who I was in all of the, the group dance competitions or whatever.
Important question.
Yes.
You said you didn't feel comfortable. Were you good at sports?
No. I kicked the ball into the wrong net once.
That's okay. I have a memory that will haunt me forever, being like a 5 or 6-year-old, small. And you know how sometimes there'd be like snacks after the game?
Yes.
I went over to the wrong team's snacks. And my mother had to come over and get me and be like, honey, this isn't your team. These aren't your snacks.
Oh, that's amazing.
I was like, I'm still slightly mortified about that, where I was just like, but these are the better snacks. This is what I want.
Get it, girl. Oh, man. That's so funny. But yeah, it just goes to show, like, how much you don't know yourself back then. And, like, I was pretty active. I mean, not so much with sports. Like, I was just kind of, like, always running around the woods and shit.
Kids should.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, I was pretty lucky. Like, I didn't really get the pressure from my mom until, like, later. But one thing I will say is I never really had a overly close relationship with my mom. When I hit puberty, here we go. I was growing hair on my legs, like you do, like you fucking do in puberty. And because I didn't have an open relationship with my mom, like, she never really told me about, like, shaving or anything like that, really. Like, she didn't really have to talk with me about anything. So I was just like, okay.
My mom wanted to throw a party when I had my period.
That's amazing. Well, also mortifying.
Mortifying when you're like 16 and you're like,
It would be amazing now to have that.
Yes, or if we just like, perhaps like the kids now, they'll be excited about this kind of stuff because it's talked about more, and
that's true.
It's
much better.
Different society.
I hope it's better now. I really want to get like a sex educator on, and I want to know, like, I'd like to know what they're doing in schools.
I can hook you up with some people from Venus MV if you would like.
Please do. I want to know what sex education is like now versus then, because back then it was terrible. But when I grew hair on my legs, I got made fun of big time. Like, big time. Like, I didn't get bullied for weight, but I got bullied for that. And that's like, as a kid, you're like, my body's going through this weird thing. I'm like, I don't really know what's going on, and I'm getting made fun of, and it's just really fucking mortifying. And, you know, obviously, I think I wore pants. It's shocking, I know, for like many years, because I just, like, my parents never talked to me with this shit. And eventually I figured out, like, oh, I can shave my legs. And honest to God, this goes back to childhood and how much it, like, fucks you up. I don't go 3 days now without shaving my legs.
Wow.
I am so concerned about hair all the time because I got made fun of so bad in, like, grade 6 or 7 for it. And, like,
kids are jerks.
Such fucking jerks. And, like, so, like, childhood was, like, I mean, it was all right. But like I said, like, it was just that relationship with my mom that it wasn't the best. We never really got along. We're both very emotional people. And we butted heads a lot. It wasn't until, I would say, like, probably late high school, college, that I did start growing more. And I gained some weight, and that's when it hit. The fun.
But it's
freshman 15.
And it's hard to say, like, what's better? Being one way your whole life, and then all of a sudden it's something new that you've never thought about, never considered, never worried, and now it's something you're worrying about. Or is it better that it's something that you worry about and you're concerned about your whole life?
I don't even know.
And then it just continues. I used to joke and say, I used to say I'd be happy that weight was something I always had to pay attention to, because then I'm used to it. Like, I'm used to, like, paying attention to it. But that's also kind of sad and fucked up. That like,
Yeah,
good. I've been having this mental anguish about my weight and my size my whole life. Like,
right? Isn't that fucked though?
and I shouldn't
And
say
it's fucked that those are the two options.
I shouldn't say my whole life, but at least grade 4 or grade 5.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's young.
But that's still young. And as I was telling you when we were doing our little pre-chat, like I can remember even my dad being like the nicest guy, but and like kind and loving and would love me no matter what. But I was wearing, it was like my birthday party and I had this new outfit and I was so excited. It was like matching tracksuit sort of thing with like reflection tape on it. It was so tacky and terrible.
That sounds Sporty Spice.
It was a little Sporty Spice.
I would have thought that.
But the pants were really tight and they were tight around my thighs. And I remember coming out of the bathroom and my dad, like, a weirdly different story than the one I was telling you earlier, but like poking at my legs and being like, honey, that doesn't look good. Like it looks too tight. You don't look comfortable.
Yeah.
And he wasn't saying I looked fat or I wasn't big, but he was like, it's too tight. It doesn't fit you. And I was just like, wow, I look gross. My clothes don't fit me. I'm too big.
And that's where we instantly go.
That's where we instantly go.
Like looking back now, we know, like, and it's interesting because like, you know, looking back, your dad meant well.
Of course he meant well, but
like it was instilled in you to instantly get offended by that because fat equals bad and, you know, bigger equals not good looking and
all he wanted me to do was be comfortable and be wearing clothes that fit me properly and flattered me. And wasn't saying I was big, wasn't saying I was fat, but couple that with like, you know, grade 5 kids making fun of you because you're fat, even though you're not, or because you have hair on your legs, even though they probably do too, or are jealous that they don't. All those guys were clearly jealous they didn't have leg hair.
That's the thing. I look back and I'm just like, it's so fucked because like I was so young, I didn't know what the fuck my body was going through. And when you're a kid, you're so like wide-eyed and bushy-tailed to the world. You don't really think about those things. You're just like
until someone brings it to your attention.
Until you start getting made fun of and shit.
Which sucks. And most bullies, I've like had one of those rare points where like I got to talk to a lot of people who bullied me when I was younger, when I was older in life.
Oh, shit.
And a lot of them, they were just saying like, I was making fun of you so people wouldn't make fun of me.
Yes, that's such a good point.
And it was like, let's get the distraction away.
Was it girls or guys or both?
Both. Yeah. But I also think it's just like a part of life and that unless society as a whole, like, and people's personalities change, bullying will be around, and the sooner you learn to deal with it, the better, because there are definitely adults who are big bullies, and I know how to deal with them better now because I had that experience as a kid.
That's dang. That's so true. It's like, in a weird fucking way, it's kind of a blessing in a weird way, because it does strengthen you.
It does, and it
toughens your skin a bit.
Opens your eyes to the real world. Mm-hmm. As much as, like, it sucks that the real world has that, and maybe one day we'll... Real world's a giant asshole.
The real world can suck a dick.
But maybe it makes us stronger and better.
That's just it. And the weird thing about me as a kid is like I was always a weird kid. Like I like just personality wise, I was weird. I never felt like I fit in anyways. And so like I am like going into like high school and university, still not feeling like I've struggled with knowing myself for a long fucking time. Like a long time. I honestly think it took me moving out of Anaganesh to like really be myself. But like even just as a young kid, I just remember not feeling like I fit in at all.
Did you find when you came to the big city of Halifax,
the big city, which really isn't
big city
that
of Halifax, but it comparison
yes.
is huge.
Oh yeah,
and or even just outside of that fishbowl of high school and the town you grew up in.
Yeah.
Did you find that because you got to meet more different people and other weird people that you were like, life is so much better.
Big time.
Because for me, that was huge. Like people who liked me just for who I was.
Yeah.
And like, it's going to sound weird, but like good looking popular people, or who I would have considered popular, using air quotes, of course, in high school. Yeah. And then wanting to be my friend. And I was like, God damn, I am someone who's worthy of having friends, of being cool. And for me, that was a huge shift in my self-confidence. Was getting out of that like small space. And
you're making friends by like, and I love my high school friends, don't get me wrong, but like you're making friends more by choice rather than these are just the people who are in my class. Yeah. Who I'm hanging out with, which, don't get me wrong, God, I'm so lucky to still be really close friends with my high school friends. And God damn, we were awkward kids back then. One of my really good girlfriends from high school, and we don't see each other very often, but when we do, it's just like going back to old times, sent me a message for my wedding. She wasn't able to come because of just like a shitstorm of like financial issues that all came up at once, as happens in life. As it does, yeah.
And I wasn't upset that she couldn't come. That's life. And she sent me the sweetest like Facebook message the day of my wedding, or a couple days after. I can't remember, but she was like, don't forget that I'll always be your friend. We'll always be those weird kids doing what we wanted, liking what we wanted. And I was just like, you didn't always find that in high school or in elementary school or when you're growing up. And to have those one or two people that you could be weird with and silly and funny, that's fucking awesome. Like, there is value to that. But when you get to a bigger world and you realize that there's more people who are weird and awesome and fantastic,
it's even better.
Just helps you feel more like a...
not alone.
Yes, not alone.
And it's interesting that you bring up that subject, because I think I'm going to just talk about it. I'm just going to get this movie out of the way. I recently saw I Feel Pretty with Amy Schumer. And that movie, like, trust me, like, I went into it thinking this is probably not going to be that great. This is a touchy subject. I loved it. It is a fantastic movie. And one of the things in that movie is the idea of friendship and how... and I won't spoil it. You should still see it. But essentially, like, she goes through this shift where she almost gets, like, overly confident in the movie. Like, there's a point in the movie where she gets a little bit overly confident to a point where she's kind of dismissing her friends.
Oh, and there's the pullback.
Yeah, and there's this beautiful moment with the friends where they're like, dude, like, we're happy for you, but we never gave two shits about what you looked like. We are your friends because we like your personality and who you are inside. And it still gives me chills when I think about that moment in the movie, because it's so fucking true. Like, the friends I have since high school, geez, we've all changed, like, body-wise and, you know, emotionally and stuff. But it's like, goddamn, we're still those awkward kids, like, who aren't fitting in. And
we like you for you.
For each other, not, like, you know, our bodies or, like, how we look or how we appear to others. Like, it's this weird connection that, like, we only have because we like each other because we're weirdos together. And that movie's really great for that. Like, it's a really good message to take away from the movie, because it's like, bitch, like, we don't give a shit what you look like. It really truly is what's up. Like, there's gonna be a lot of cliches in this podcast, but it is what's on the inside, and it's really important.
And it is really important. But the reason we're talking about it is also really important because we know, we've been taught since we were kids, it's what's on the inside that matters. That's what makes you a person. But yet, we're so completely consumed with the outside. And it might not be all the time. It might not be... everyone expresses it in different ways.
Yeah.
And it might not be something that we actually value. We might know that this is something that doesn't matter, that someone's size or how put together they look or what they're wearing matters. But somehow we notice it and pass some sort of judgment on it. And it often affects how we feel about ourselves. And that's crazy. Sarah and I have talked about in the past being double fucked as women, as educated women being double fucked, because not only are you maybe gain some weight, or you don't like how you look in a certain way or a certain dress, and you're upset about that, but then you know that you shouldn't be upset about that because that doesn't matter and that doesn't make you who you are. So then you feel extra ashamed.
This is like the vicious cycle.
It's the worst. Like,
It's
you
the vicious
know you
cycle.
shouldn't be wasting your time and energy on it. You know you shouldn't be doing it, but you still do. And
So it's like double the anxiety in a way.
double the anxiety. And
Yeah.
how do you stop that? Because as we were talking earlier, it's not productive to be spending your time worrying about how you look. Like, that energy could be used on cool podcasts or
Other things that make
anything
you
else.
that make you fucking happy, and like going in with that as well. Talking about the guilt and stuff. One point I really just I want to bring up is the fact that, especially amongst females, I mean this might be true with male-female friendship or male-to-male friendship, who knows, but like the idea of we're always comparing ourselves to others. So whenever a friend or someone is like, they say the thing, they say, I look fat today, or I feel fat today.
can you
then-
see how big my thighs are? Or
Yeah.
can you believe my stomach is this?
Listen, we've all been in a group of girls where it's picture time, and it's the most stressful 10 minutes you'll ever go through as females, because we are all trying to look cute, and we just want to get a picture together, and everyone wants to like how they look in that picture.
I need to be on this side.
Yes.
Because that's the side, or I need to be in
Yeah.
the back so my face looks smaller. And I've heard it all. I've thought half of
it's-
it myself.
It's so fucking... I would just love for a guy to be a fly in the wall for a situation like that, because it is eye-opening just how many people are so deeply insecure. But like, if a friend says something like that, we instantly go to... Okay, so like, I'll just use an example. Like, say I say it, and say I have a friend who's much larger than I am. They would instantly go to, really? Like, you're saying that? Look at me. Okay? So that instantly makes me feel bad for being insecure. But the truth of the matter is like, we are all insecure, and all of us are in these, like, these bodies, these vessels, like, that we've been living with our whole lives. And we all have insecurities, and it doesn't mean that someone deserves, like, I don't really even know, like, how to say it, but it's just, like, pinpointing, like, comparing bodies and stuff like that shouldn't be a thing. It should be more of a, I'm really sorry that you feel that way, like, what do you think you can, like, what can you do to feel better? Or what can I do to help you feel better? I don't even really know how to go about it, but I just don't think it should be a, I have it worse, or this person has it worse than you, so you shouldn't feel that way.
Or we shouldn't dismiss people's feelings.
Yeah.
We shouldn't, and it's hard. I have lots of friends who are very small, but I know that they still struggle internally with their size.
Yeah.
And might see like a lump or a bump and get self-conscious about it. And for someone to be like, psh,
Yeah.
you're so small, why are you have nothing to worry about? Well, it's like, all you have to say is, man, I know what that feels like.
That's exactly, thank you. And because I've done it.
That sucks.
I've been known to be that friend who's been with people who I think are either like more attractive than me or like skinnier than me. And like when they say those things, that's exactly where I go. I go to like, really? Like, look at me. And it's like, no, like, Sarah, don't make this about you. like this is them. Like, it's their internal thing. And like, but that just goes back, it's all coming back to this idea that like we have this idea in our minds of this image of beauty, or this like standard that we have to hold ourselves to. And it's really fucked up that like so much is held on that, and not like your intelligence, your sense of humor, how kind or nice you are as a person. Like, none of these things matter. But are you hot? Because...
And they do matter. And in the long
matter
stand,
so
the
much.
inside is so much more important than the outside. But our society is just trained to judge, make split second judgments based on look.
Yeah.
And I know when my dad's pressures about weight and body size and have come in, number one, it's health. Because he's had his own health-related issues due to being overweight. So he's like, hey, I don't want you to have these same health issues I've had.
Yeah.
But the second is he's lived a life as an overweight man.
Yeah.
He's been overweight since he was early 20s. And he says straight up, I've been ignored, overlooked, not given job opportunities, not given promotions because of my size. He's like, it's just so much easier in this world if you are of an average size.
Right.
Or ideal size, or however you want to.
Which really is less than average.
Which is way less than average.
Yeah.
Our actual average size is much higher than what we're bombarded with constantly by television, movies, media, advertising. It's just, it's constant. And I find like the new shift towards influencers and media or social media marketing is even more damaging to us because they're presented as real. I mean, and they are real people. And I know several people who do it and are lovely, lovely humans.
Yeah.
But we're given the impression that this is real life. This is real people. This is what you should be looking like.
Oh, but it's so not.
And it is. It is for some people. Some people that is what they should be looking like. But that doesn't mean it's for everybody.
Everyone. That's very true.
Because everyone has different frames and different metabolisms and
like body chemistries and like just the way, like you said, frames. Like I have really, like what I've learned about me is like like I kind of wrote this down earlier because I really felt a shift with me where I started attacking all the things I hated about my body and being like, okay, Sarah, you're gonna learn to love these things. Like,
well, because I'm sure most of them are things you can't change.
Exactly, though. That's exactly it. Like, I can't, there's things you can control. You can, to some degree, you can control your weight. Okay, cool. But like, I've really just learned and accepted that like, this is how my legs are. This is how my shoulders are. And like, it is what it is, people. I'm 31 at this point. Not much I can do about these broad shoulders. I'm gonna learn to love these fuckers. You know what I mean? Like, and there's so many ways you can do that. And like, finding clothes that flatter you. Like, maybe not. And like, this really fucking sucks. And going back to like our episode we did about weddings, and like, you must see it a lot with wedding dresses, I would imagine. But like, the idea of, this is the dress I want, but it might not be the dress that like flatters your body type.
Wedding dresses are horribly unflattering.
Oh my God.
Horribly. And
strapless A-line.
And just like white.
Yeah.
Most people, like, white is not a slimming color on most people.
No.
And again, this is like, I should not care about this. I should not know. I look at so many people, and happiness makes everyone beautiful. Size, shape, happiness does it all. And self-confidence does it all. Yeah. I have so many people I know in my life who are bigger or smaller or really, really small and petite or really, really tall. And if they are comfortable and confident in what they're wearing,
it looks good.
It looks good. It looks really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of wedding dresses, if someone's bought a dress they're not 100% comfortable in, they're not going to look as good as they could.
And that's really what it fucking comes down to. You can really fucking tell when someone's not comfortable. And so, like, learning to try to, like, and I kind of use the metaphor about, like, vegetables and fruit and stuff like that. Like, if you're someone who doesn't like vegetables, but you really got to get healthy for your health, you eventually learn to like vegetables. I kind of feel like it's the same with confidence in a way. Like, so, like, I had a moment, and I posted it on Facebook, where, listen, I gained some weight in the past, I would say like 8 months or so. I'm definitely at my heaviest, I think, from what I feel. And like, you know your body better than anyone else, like, I feel like I'm at my heaviest. I don't know for sure, but I had a moment when I was out dress shopping where I was like trying to stuff myself into my regular size. And I was in that change room just being like, here I am, like, falling out everywhere.
Probably uncomfortable, tight,
trying to like you know, you look in the mirror and you like suck
I can make this work. This fits.
Yeah, if I stand at this angle, it doesn't look so bad. And I had a moment where I was just like, you want to know what? Get me a fucking large, please. Like, let me just go up a size. And I put that fucking dress on. And I was like, God damn! Yes! Like, it just fit me perfectly. And I just had this moment of like, why am I so goddamn concerned about a size? Like,
especially since most sizes mean nothing.
Yeah, and most sizes are bullshit.
They are. There's no like consistency. There's no formula for it. I mean, in Europe, it's a totally different thing. But in North America, it's a marketing tool.
Yeah.
It's a selling tool. That's all it is.
Yeah, and like, I put that dress on, I felt fucking hot, and I looked at the large, and I was like, God, this is insane, because literally, probably 3 or 4 years ago, I would have melted down over this. I would have had like a full-on breakdown that this girl who was once like a small or like an extra small, I am now a large. Oh my God. Like, honestly. And I didn't melt down. I fucking embraced it. And I was also going bra shopping that day, oddly enough. And, I mean, I went off the pill, so I was like, I don't know, my boobs, like, I don't know what's going on here. I might have lost some of them. I don't know. And I literally went into a new, like a store that I hadn't been in before. It was, is it Vivian Rose? Am I saying that right? Vivian Rose or something. It's like a lingerie store.
Le'Veon Rose.
Yeah, there it is. But their sizes are wonderful. And they have they have a wide variety of sizes. And I went in and I was like, I probably need a bigger band, but I think my cup size is the same. They're like, girl, we got you. And like, they brought in like all these bras and I tried them on and I was like, God damn, this feels good. Just to be like, and then like I even said, I was like, I feel like La Senza bras are way too tight on me. And they're like, and they even said, they're like, yeah, because we make bras for real women. And I was like, dang.
You are a real woman.
I was like, shots fired. But honestly, like, it took me so long to actually see, like, myself as curvy. I never used to see myself as curvy. And now I'm like, I fucking love this.
Embrace the curves. Embrace your body. It's important.
Because having some meat gives me some shape. And I like that. And so it was a really fundamental moment in my life where I was just like, it kind of sucks I have to buy all these new clothes, but going a size up, really not a big deal in the grand scheme of things because it fits me. And I look better in it because I'm comfortable, God damn it. And that's what matters.
And your post about it, so important. And this is why it's important. Like, I like wobble back and forth on social media all the time. How much do I want to participate? How much do I not want to participate? Fuck girls like you who participate and share those real moments. It's inspiring. The pants I am wearing right now, I just went out and bought last week, and I bought 2 new pairs of pants. Like one size up from the pants I have at home.
Ding ding.
The pants I have at home still fit, but they cut me off at the waist. They were a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
These ones are like amazing.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable in them. I feel confident in them. I don't feel like I have to wear a loose shirt so you don't like see stuff like exploding over it. Right? I just feel like myself and confident, and I'm so glad I did it. And your post made me realize and made me think like, this isn't a bad thing. This isn't like,
it's not the end of the world. It's
not the end of the world.
It's literally a goddamn letter on a fucking tag. And the flip side of that, we talked a lot about this before we recorded. A little pre-talk. But like the flip side of that was I felt really humbled because, and like I think I'm pretty average body type. But when I was in there, I was just like, I'm the large? Like, this is fucked.
How does that make people, other people feel?
Exactly. And it made me just realize, like, Jesus Christ, like, I did have that moment where I was like, I can't imagine having to go to like specialty stores or like stores that are like out of the way to like find fucking clothes, like clothes that we all wear.
I was chatting with an esthetician recently. Wonderful woman, does like my waxing and my eyebrows and stuff, chat with her often, and she's bigger. Yeah. And we were talking about, she was wearing something that was super cute. I was like, oh my God, I love that. That's great. We were chatting about where it was from. And she opened my eyes to that a lot of the specialty stores for larger sizes, so like Pennington's, and stuff like that, the prices are absurd.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Like $60, $70 a shirt. Like just absolutely ridiculous. The stuff is nice and it's stylish.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be an arm and a leg more. Like, I get it. There is more fabric involved and like that is an increase in price. But it shouldn't be extortion for people just because they're larger. It's not fair.
And fucking bras, so expensive.
Yeah.
Like,
it's true.
Yeah, it's just, it's really sad. And more stores should have a wider variety of sizes, really is what it is. I know that's easier said than done, but like, Jesus Christ, like if I'm the largest size, that's disgusting to me.
How many people is that leaving out of the equation?
Exactly.
Or if you're going to a sports store to buy sporting equipment, and say you want to buy some new snow pants, and they only come to like a size 10 or a size 12. Well, like I'm a size like 13, 14 sometimes in my pants. Does that mean I shouldn't be able to ski or snowboard?
Seriously.
Is that kind of what I'm being told? Like I could see a young kid or a teenager who's bigger going in to buy something, not being their size and being like, well, I'm just not supposed to be doing this.
It's so sad. It's so dumb. Ugh. Clothes on. This is why I like makeup so much. It just always fits. Accessories, like I've always hated clothes shopping, especially pants. Ugh, hate pants. But like I dread it, and it really stresses me out. Trying clothes on, because it really does force you, especially if you have gained weight, to like fucking face it. And like that day in the change room, ooh, did I face it? Because I kind of knew. I was like, I think I gained some weight. Like my clothes are a bit tighter than normal. Perhaps I should get some new clothes. It's the first time I've ever had to do that.
It's hard.
It's a hard thing. And like I made a choice to not get upset about it.
I think, and that's a healthy choice.
Yeah.
And there's like, what about, like, we're not saying, oh, you know, don't take care of yourself, gain all the weight you want, don't worry about it. No, we're just saying, like, be kind to yourself. And be aware. Your body changes. Your hormones change.
Yeah.
It's just a part of life. You can accept it and love yourself, or you can
pick it apart and stress.
And that doesn't help anyone.
No. And like, it's like I said, like there's so much you can do, like with whatever body you have, to like try to feel better. And it's so many different things for different people. So like maybe now would be a good time to talk about like what we do maybe to feel good, or like what are our key things to feel confident. Because I mean, if we want to talk about makeup, I can fucking get into it right now, because that's what I do. I love makeup, but like the reason I love makeup has actually nothing to do with weight or anything like that. It's just genuinely that it makes me look older. When I don't have a stitch of makeup on, I look 16 or 17. And I just generally don't really like going out in public like that. To me, it's also a self-care thing in a way, because this is weird, but like the 1 hour a day that I'm in that putting on makeup mode, it's it's kind of like meditation for me. Like it's really relaxing, and it's the one time of day that I'm like not concerned about like, oh, like all this work stuff going on, or like podcast stuff, or like all these errands I have to run. It's like, no, right now I'm just focused on like, I want this color to go in my crease, and I want like, it just like, it focuses me.
Makeup for meditation.
Yes!
Frick, I love that.
Yeah, it's just really relaxing. It's like my time. And I'll throw on either music or I'll throw on a podcast and do my makeup in the morning with my coffee. And it's literally, it brings me fucking joy to do it. And that's why I do it. And yes, it does actually make me look to like, I mean, I think I look better with it on, but like I'm learning to not get shocked when I don't have it on, if that makes sense. Like I'm making the shift from I need it to it's just something I want to do.
And that will take time, and it will be a time and place thing, and it's
because no one needs it.
No one needs it.
I think most makeup lovers who are on my same level will agree when they say we don't need it. We just really like doing it, and we have fun doing it, so that's why we do it. And actually, it's not that we need it, but we feel better with it on. And I want to pull up a quote.
Being confident, like if that's what brings you confidence, and you're doing it for yourself, I think that's healthy and awesome and something that should be celebrated.
Yeah.
It's the same way where like there's certain times where I eat really healthy. I do this awesome green smoothie in the summer. I work crazy busy hours. It makes me feel healthy. It tastes delicious, and it just makes me feel good. But sometimes, like, I'm sitting at work and people will be making fun of me. Be like, oh, you're eating a lot of rabbit food, or oh, you're doing this, or you're doing that. And it's like,
this is my thing.
Back off.
Leave me the fuck alone.
This is making me feel like I have my shit together.
Right?
Just let me do it.
That's exactly it.
But it's the same way if, like, I don't get why people feel like they need to comment on other people's food all the time and other people's habits all the time. And it's like, there's this perfect girl that's been created in the past 5-10 years who is just like always put together but casual, perfect size and shape, and eats all the crappy junk food all the time. And it's like, why is that something that's celebrated? Like that's not realistic.
No. Because like the way I describe my body is I'm like, okay, like I'm average, and I'm somewhat fit, but I look like I eat a lot of fast food. And that's literally what it is. And like, and I'm not saying that to be self-deprecating. I'm saying that to be goddamn fucking honest. I got me a stomach and it's fine. It fucking happens, people. But like the reason I have that stomach is because I'm eating fucking fast food all the time. And like, I'm taking accountability for it, but like, that's what happens when you eat fast food. Like, there's no way if you lived my lifestyle that you would be stick thin.
Someone could be though. So that's what happens to you.
Yeah.
When you eat fast food, because you don't want to look at someone else. And it killed me. I've known some bigger people in my life, my as one, where people just assume that they eat terrible and that they're slovenly and gross because they're bigger. And it's like, you don't know what that person's medical history is. You don't know what their eating habits are.
You don't know what they eat every single day.
You don't know what they eat every single day.
Yeah.
They may eat wonderfully and healthy and balanced, but you see them and then you see them like eat like a cheeseburger out in public and you're like, oh, they're so gross and disgusting.
How dare they indulge in the glories of a cheeseburger?
Where it's like someone would see you eating a cheeseburger and be like, oh, cool, look at that hot girl eating a cheeseburger.
Yeah. Isn't that fucked?
Super fucked.
Oh my God, you're totally right.
And I don't mean it to like make you feel bad.
No,
it's
but
just,
you're
but
right.
like how.
And then the flip side is like there's less skinny people who can't gain weight, and are actually eating really like not great and still not actually gaining weight. It's a thing. It's like there's two sides. There's like two extremes, and then like I do feel like I kind of fall in the middle, just in terms of kind of where I'm at. But it's so fucking it's such a personal thing.
It's a very personal thing, and it's
never assume should be the thing. Never assume anything.
No. I wish there was a way to like brainwash society, but like reverse brainwash society, so we could like not be judgmental.
Oh my God,
people. And I don't know where that comes from. I don't know how that change shifts or if it's even possible to shift. But I just wish that as society we could drop that aspect of it.
Especially with women, because it's interesting, like going back to Amy Schumer and the I Feel Pretty stuff, like like just a quick Sparks Notes version of the situation. She interrupted a comedian's set in New York. Like, it was like this up and coming comedian, like not very well known, but like had a headlining show, and she showed up at his show and was like, "Can I do 10 minutes?" And interrupted his set. It was really douchey.
Like in the middle of his set?
He was 5 minutes in. He had a 45-minute set. He was 5 minutes into his set. She showed up right before she was about to, like, it was like a couple of days before SNL, so she went to test material.
But like, wouldn't you talk to someone ahead of time before you did that?
She didn't, but she just showed up and did it because she's that level of fame now, right?
Oh, that's
so really douchey. And like, I love Amy Schumer so much, and I loved I Feel Pretty so much. But like, when I heard about this, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, that's douchey of her. But it was interesting because TMZ released this video of this actor talking about it, and he was like, "Yeah, Schumer, like, that was wrong of you, don't do that, and by the way, go lose some weight." Like, just threw that in there as if that's totally connected to who she is as a douchey famous person now, apparently. Like,
and she's fat
to add to it.
And she's not at all.
And like a comedian I follow like reposted, because they like commented on the TMZ post, and they took a screenshot of it and like commented being like, "Only to a woman would this happen. Like,
no,
you're an
never
asshole, and
guy.
then somehow it's about your weight. Somehow it goes back to your weight.
You should lose some weight."
Yeah.
No, it would never be said to a man.
Isn't that crazy?
And when in the like internal judging and like how I hate it, but I do like look at everyone and compare them to myself, and just like in general look at them and pass some sort of like thought or comment or just even a noticing of their weight. I never do it for men. Ever for men. No. Or if it is for men, it's like, I'll notice something because of like something will happen or something to do, or a shirt will pull a certain way, and I'll notice it, and then I'll be like, meh, he looks fine. And then I realize I would never judge a woman that easily. That for the woman I'd be harsher to them. And that's like so messed up.
It is.
I want to believe that people aren't looking at me and thinking about my size every time they see me, but I hate it because I know I look at other people and think about it. And like I say, it's not a lasting impression. It's not how I treat them, but it's something I notice. And I just wish I didn't notice it.
What's the thing? Because it was put back on you, and then you're socialized to be looking for that all the time. And that's the fucked up thing.
I hate when people comment about children and babies. I don't mind when people are like positive about like chubby cheeks and chubby thighs and all that stuff, but I hate when, and it's happened to me a couple times in the last few years, where people I know have commented on other people's children and been like, they're feeding them too much. They're too big. They're too this. It's a baby. A baby's only job is to gain weight.
Oh my God.
Like, if you have like a 7 or a 10-year-old or a 6-year-old who's like 50 pounds overweight, let's just say only if a doctor says there's an issue.
Yes.
A doctor should be the only one
when it crosses that
to
line
comment
where
on your weight.
Exactly. When it becomes a health risk, yes. Like,
and I did have a doctor who I love and miss so much because she was just the best doctor ever. My university friends and I talk about her sometimes. She's just awesome, but she works in a different province. And I remember her sitting me down and like my annual checkup and being like, Rebecca, you got to watch your weight. And to me, it wasn't like she didn't preach. She didn't go on and on.
Just was totally honest. And was like, it wasn't eye-opening to me because it was something clearly I was already thinking about. But to have a medical professional say something
was like, okay, I need to make some changes.
Right.
But that's the only person who should be able to comment.
Did you, like, how did you react in that moment? Because we all know it's easy to look back and be like, yeah, I understand that now. But, like, your gut feeling in that moment.
Oh, God.
Did you have that sinking feeling?
The total sinking feeling.
Because it's kind of like, in a weird way, like, all your insecurities being, like, reaffirmed, which really fucking sucks.
And maybe a good segue into, like, the difference between, for me, for childhood to, like, when I was in university age.
Ooh, yeah, let's get to university age.
So I wasn't popular in high school. There was just no guys interested in me at all. I was pretty sad about it. I was pretty sad about it. But then I moved away to university, and all of a sudden there's all these guys, and they all wanted to sleep with me, and that felt fucking awesome.
That's amazing. I'm still waiting for that.
By all the guys, there was like 2 or 3.
Okay, that's still really good.
But it was like, compared to no one, it was awesome.
Yeah.
And my self-confidence soared.
Interesting.
I used to joke sometimes that if I had been the same weight I was in high school as I was in my early 20s, I would just be walking around naked all the time.
Really?
Because all of a sudden I didn't care. I'd wear bikinis. I'd wear short skirts, low-cut tops. I was really, really confident in myself. And I think part of that was finding a friend group that accepted me for who I was and liked me. And
that's huge.
The attention from guys was another one that was just huge.
Yeah, big time.
I went from, like, didn't know I was alive to, like, following my crush around everywhere and, like, trying to be cool and asking him out. Did not work. To being accepted and feeling like I had a place in the world. And so because my body was changing and my dietary habits were shot and I was drinking all the time. Because
you're out on your own and you're like letting you're not eating mom and dad's like home cooked food anymore. You're eating cafeteria food and you can eat whatever you want.
It was just totally different.
Yeah.
So I gained quite a bit of weight in that time.
Yeah.
But it didn't bother me.
Yeah.
There was like, we tried to do like the Beyonce juice fast and had like tried running and like unfortunately, weight was always like a topic in a conversation and something we were concerned with, like me and my female friends. But overall, I had super high confidence. I think the doctor mentioning something made me realize that it had gone too far. And it was funny because it wasn't an immediate change. It was a change that had happened that I made slowly over time, where I changed my eating habits a bit and started introducing more exercise, and I slowly lost weight.
Yeah.
And not only slowly lost weight, probably became a little bit more concerned about it because someone had pointed out, you're not as hot shit as you think you are.
They said it, and so now it's stuck in your head. And that's fucking hard. Like, that's hard. Like, you feel like you built up all that confidence and then just to be knocked down a couple pegs.
It's true. But then you gotta, like, gives you the opportunity to build it stronger.
Yeah.
And better and learn healthy habits. As much as I had been, like, taught the healthy habits and had them ingrained in me since I was a child, to realize that there's more to just looking good. It's taking care of your body, too.
True.
That was helpful for me. And it made a lot. What about you? What was university like?
Oh, man. Well, I mean, that's definitely where I gained the W word, the weight. The weight. Dun dun. I gained probably like 20 pounds, I would say. Like going, like freshman 15, it was like a freshman 20 for me. And that's usually, and actually same as you, honestly, I discovered slutty clothes in college. I was like, I'm gonna show this off. I don't care. And it was the same thing. Like, I was out of a small town. I was out on my own for the first time. And you want to let loose. Like, you want to drink. You want to eat the food you want to eat. And You're totally right. It was like a lifestyle, dietary change. The weight came in, and I think that's when I start getting it wasn't a doctor saying it, but it was my mother. Started making comments to me here and there, and never like blunt, straightforward comments, very passive aggressive comments. And
they're even worse.
They're even worse. And it was never, like, here's the thing, like, about kind of being in this weird middle zone where you're not so big that, like, it's glaringly obvious, and you're not so thin that it goes unnoticed, but you're kind of in this weird middle area where you're fluctuating. I would say that my weight back then would fluctuate by 10 pounds or so, 5 to 10 pounds. And that was the point of concern with my mom, was those fucking 5 goddamn pounds. That's not a lot of pounds, people. That shouldn't really matter. But I then, as like you with the doctor, became obsessed. With those 5 pounds. And it's hard for me to think of when I was like the lowest. Like, I think I have waves, but I think what really did it for me was actually like kind of going through a breakup. And like, like going through that breakup and I didn't even think that this would come up in this episode, but like having been left for another woman and seeing that woman and being like, she looks normal and just like me in terms of like we're very similar. So what the fuck is going on? I spiraled. I definitely spiraled after that. So that's when I was at my lowest. Now, keep that in mind. Like, I was at my lowest when I was at my lowest emotionally. Like, I was emotionally messed up. So all of those body issues went tenfold.
Oh, magnified hugely.
Because you're now thinking, I was left because I'm not pretty enough. Or I'm not good enough. I'm not as pretty as her. I'm not cool enough. And again, it goes back to comparing it to other women. And I was also lucky to have met a lot of really close friends in college that accepted me. And like I said before, I have actually a lot of friends that are larger. And I fucking love them so fucking much. They keep me in check, let me tell you that. But like, I remember being at a family dinner with my parents, and like my mom making a comment about my weight. And like, my friend was at dinner with me, and she told me after, she's like, I can't believe she said that to you, because like, you're fine and I'm the actual overweight person.
How
like,
uncomfortable did that person probably feel? Like, you're bringing a friend, and your mom probably didn't even realize.
That's just it.
Like, she probably had no idea that here she could be hurting someone's feelings by bringing up your weight, and then this person's just like, what about me?
Yeah, like,
I'm just gonna stop eating now. Like, I can't feel.
What was weird about that was like the friend like knew she was overweight, and she was just like, I should be getting this lecture, not you. Like, you're not overweight. Like, 5 to 10 pounds should not matter that fucking much. But in my mom's eyes, it did. And like, I remember one year she got me a cake decorating kit because I was into baking at the time. And also a diet book, it might still be on my bookcase, that was called How to Lose 5 Pounds Really Fast.
Oh!
I'll never forget it as long as I live.
Is it not a frosting diet? So like, cake isn't how you do that?
And we talked briefly about this, but the idea that, again, we're going back to the comparing to other women, but like, I grew up in a family of 3 sisters, or well, 2 other sisters, so 3 girls in total. But I literally said to you that I was the Khloe Kardashian of the family. Like, I use those words to describe the fact that I was taller, I had bigger boobs, I had more meat on me. That's just what it is. I had a little more meat on me. And I kind of stuck out. But in comparison to them, yeah, I looked bigger. And I literally said I was the Khloe Kardashian, like,
poor Khloe Kardashian's complex is brought up 10 times more.
But that's just it. It's fucked that it's engraved in us. That's what big is. Like, it's not. It's just,
I even hate all the
We're like pulling our hair out
advertisements
right now.
I hate, like, it drives me crazy, all of the, like, advertisements
Yeah.
online, and it's like, so-and-so lost so much weight, you won't believe what they look like now, or like, remember this girl from this television show, you won't believe, lost 80, like, and it's like, who the fuck cares?
And the thing is, it's really not on men as much as it is on women.
No, it's not.
Like,
it's not fair.
I'm just being really fucking real. And for me, being friends with a lot of guys, I'm like kind of a fly on the wall for a lot of the commentary. And like these are men that I love and care about and respect, and like they're really great men. But you know, they use rating systems. Like they'll say like she's a 6 or she's a 7 and she's an 8, or like bring up a picture and be like, oh well, she's gained weight. And it's just like, we don't do this to you guys. Well, I mean, maybe the rating scale every now and then.
And like, sometimes people will comment, like, I'll know if my guy friends have gained weight, but it's not the first thing you notice.
No, and I feel like for me anyway, like hotness is so much more than weight. Like there's so much more that goes into it. But with women, it's like, fucking hell, we gotta check all these boxes. We have to have the right weight. We gotta have perfect skin. We gotta have like great hair. Ugh.
Well put together and funny and cool and all of the things.
We have to check so many boxes that we are like completely overwhelmed with the boxes at this point. And it's like, I feel like an interesting perspective is people who have been bigger and have actually lost the weight. A good friend of mine, this happened to her, and she said, you know, like I might have lost the weight, but I just found something else to pick apart.
Oh,
like you just find something else to pick apart, because there's always fucking something with women. There's always something that either the media picks out or men pick out, like, and it's disgusting.
In a perfect world, your self-confidence and the way your body looks are two different things.
Yes.
And you learn to love all the awesome things that your body is able to do for you. And whether that be walking or running or sitting up or singing and breathing, and sounds so cheesy and ridiculous, but all the wonderful things your body can do. And it shouldn't be until you're comfortable with your relationship with your body till you try to lose weight.
Yep.
Or try to gain muscle or try to do things, because it's who you are.
Because you'll never be emotionally happy if you're just striving. This is the only way I can be happy, is if I get this body. Like, it shouldn't be that way. It should be learning to love what you have. And still, you might still want to, you know, get healthier, lose some weight, but like, if you love the you that you're in now, then you'll never be disappointed if it doesn't quite work out the way you had planned.
And sometimes, like, I know that I'm happier when I have a fitness routine.
Yeah.
And when I eat healthier.
Yeah.
Still means I'm going to enjoy some mozzarella sticks and cake.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I find when I balance those things, I feel better physically, and I have that confidence.
Yeah.
But you know, like, you don't know what will happen. A friend of mine gained some weight, and wasn't feeling herself, wasn't feeling confident. Ended up doing Jenny Craig, because she was like, if I spend money on something, I will stick to it. It will motivate me to do it.
Uh-huh.
Had huge success
doing
Jenny Craig. Just felt healthy again. Looked great, felt great. You could really feel her confidence. Then got pregnant. Super happy about the baby. Attributes the weight loss to one of the things that's helped her get pregnant, potentially.
Oh, yeah, no, it would, yeah.
And a couple other things, too. But was super, super happy. This friend's mother said to me one time, oh, it's a shame, too. She just lost all that weight and now she's pregnant.
Oh, my fuck.
Did not mean anything by it. Like, I know these people so well. Did not mean anything by it.
Right.
But that's just how our society thinks.
Yeah. And as soon as you have that baby, you gotta get that weight off quick.
And it's incredible. The human body creating another human body, carrying and growing a human inside of you is just bananas. It's completely understandable that your body will not be the same afterwards. Mm-hmm. And you should be proud of what it did. You shouldn't be upset about stretch marks or worried that your body's a different shape or that you have a belly that will never go away now. Like, fucking embrace that shit.
Embrace the human, man.
And we should see it as a privilege, not as a drawback that you're going to be bigger and change and you don't know what your body's going to be like afterwards because you don't know.
Because the wording around it is always, get your body back. Like
it's never coming back.
It's something you have to get back. And it's like, no, your body actually like shifts. Like your organs shift when you have a child. Like, oh my God.
But just like the fact that someone would be like,
that's so like
focused on the weight.
Well, should we do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get on the scale.
We're going to do something. So, well, and one thing I will, like, I have not always been like this, the way I am right now. Like, I used to get really stressed out about gaining some weight. And like I said, it took me a long time to just make the shift into not caring about it. And what you said earlier was beautiful about happiness really makes you beautiful. It's so fucking goddamn true because we're both to confirm it, but I'm probably at the heaviest that I ever have been. There's so many reasons why. Like, I'm just busier now. I'm not eating good. I haven't been, it's coming off of winter, so like I haven't been running. So there's
Stop the excuses. They're not necessary.
Why am I listing?
Because this is how you're trying to reason it. You don't need to reason it.
I know, it's not fucked, but like, yeah, so I gained weight, but I'm so fucking happy in my life right now that like I actually do love my body, and it's not exactly where I want it to be, but like I'm legit happy with it. And the way that I see it is like, exactly what you said. If I work towards it, if I get it, cool. But if not, I'm gonna fucking love this thing that I have because this is what I'm working with right now. And I'm not gonna beat myself up about it because I'm so fucking happy. Like, I found something that has made me more emotionally happy than I've ever been in my life, and actually proud of who I am as a woman who's, funny. I think I'm fairly smart. I mean, people might disagree with that, but I think I'm learning a lot. I'm learning more than I ever have in my life. Kind. Like, there's so many other things about me other than, she got nice boobs and she knows how to do it.
It's what's in the package that matters.
Thank you.
Not what's on the outside.
But it took me so long to, like, accept that. And
I'm still accepting it. Like, kudos to you.
So, we're going to step on the scale, and we're going to do something that a lot of women are scared to do, which is admit what the number is. Oh, that's the old scale. The new scale's over there.
And please, no one see this as like, don't compare yourself, sass.
Don't fucking the point is that no matter what size you are, no matter what weight you are, we all seem to be insecure about the weight, the number. And me and you are gonna outwardly say it and not
outwardly say it and share that.
We're gonna share
feeling of what it feels like to get on and see a weight.
Yep.
Because
I haven't
a lot goes through your brain.
A lot goes through your brain, and my scale has been broken, so I have actually not seen this number like since probably before Christmas. So this is going to be interesting. All right, who's going first? These mics pick up everything, so we're good to just
are we?
Do it.
Here, I can go first because I have an idea. I weighed myself this week.
Okay.
175.6.
All right.
Which is, as I said, on the high end for me.
Okay. That's exactly what I thought it would be. 140.8. So we know our numbers now.
The look on your face. Were you nervous before it came up?
I was nervous. But I somehow knew. See, I'm normally 130.
Okay.
So I gained 10 pounds.
You knew that exactly.
Yeah. I'm very in tune, and that's the thing. Whew. just glad it wasn't more than that. But there's my reaction. I was nervous and I did it. Do you know what's interesting though? And like this is just us being brutally honest here. Like, I'm surprised by your number because I would not think, looking at you, that you weighed that much. Like,
really?
Honestly, like, I'm just being fucking honest. Like, and that's the thing about it. But that's why bodies are so fucked. Because like you see someone and you're like, ooh, we could probably share clothes, and then it's.
Oh, you'd be surprised. We probably could share clothes.
We probably could.
I mean, your skirts would be, like, very slutty on me. But we probably could share some clothes.
Yep. But, like, honestly, like, I think some people might look at me and think that I'm probably way less than that. So, 140, bitches.
140. And honestly, like, I think I'm okay with the 175 now. When I stepped on the scale, I probably weigh myself every 5-6 months.
Ooh,
just to, like, kind of, like, know myself, because you know, like, clothes fitting are one thing, but I just like to know because sometimes I like to eat a lot of cake, or I like to, you know, it's that like keeping a reality check on my size. And when I first saw the 175 at the gym, I was mortified, and I was like, okay, I really need to like be more careful, like a little less cake, Roberta, like, you know, just don't be rewarding yourself with food, because I like healthy food. I think it tastes good. But just like that balance.
Yeah. Not depriving yourself and giving yourself treats, but like, but just being aware.
Just almost. Being aware.
Yeah.
So I was really beating myself up. And then I remembered that I've been doing like at-home yoga practice every day, almost every single day since the beginning of January. So it's like almost 5 months.
That's a long time.
And the changes in my strength and in what my body is able to accomplish is huge. So even though I know I've gained some weight and I can like feel the weight being distributed differently on my body, and that's been like frustrating for me and annoying for me to figure out, like silly things like I do a back bend and I can feel like the fat on my back and I'm like, oh, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel like me. Even though that part's annoying, some of the things that I can physically do with my body, I couldn't do 5 months ago.
There you go.
And I'm really proud of that.
That's something to be proud of, yeah.
I want to hold on to those good things. Yeah, I just want to hold on to those good things and be more body positive, and then let the weight do what it needs to do. Well, just being aware of my health. I don't know. That sounds so like all over the place.
No,
but
that's exactly how I think too. I feel like it's like little things that you can do to just like make yourself feel better and make yourself feel like you're accomplishing things, and do your best. Like, don't stress yourself out over these like crazy eating diets. Like, I just know for me, like, those diets don't fit into my lifestyle at all. And I also just know that both, and I think both, you probably agree on this, like, we both know our bodies really well. Like, I knew that was going to be 140. And in my head, I'm like, I think I gained 10 pounds. I know where those 10 pounds came from, and I know that if I make those changes, I'll be back to 130 again. But I'm not going to stress myself out over it. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to try to self-care as much as I can. But if I have a hypoglycemic attack on the bus and I just need to shove a hot dog down my face, I'm going to just do it, because...
No, I'm picturing you like... hot dogs in your purse, hot dogs in your pocket. But like the most portable of all foods, most practical to keep for emergency snacking purposes.
But like exercise and moving your body, I think, is like one of the key things. Because for me, like, I run in the summertime, so normally that's when I'm my most fit.
Yeah.
So like, I know I can't always eat the healthiest just based on how busy I am all the time, but like, I know I can walk home from work and get a fucking 40-minute walk in, or like go for a jog every second day, or like, I just love to run. Running's like my thing. So like, I know that that's what I can do. So like, I'm going to do that. And people can make suggestions, but like, at the end of the day, you gotta do what's best for your fucking lifestyle.
And if you're doing it for you,
to feel better,
not about the number, your own confidence, like, that's that's the most important part.
Yeah.
And everyone's body is different. We shouldn't concern ourselves with anyone but ourselves.
Yes.
And I get it, how it would be hard for our moms and our other parents and other people who love us not to say something because they care and they only want what's best for us. But they need to, I wish my own mother had taught me that size isn't what matters.
Yeah.
And that it's taking care of your body and taking care of your soul that's most important. As cheesy and weird as that sounds, but that's the important part. And that balance. Life is about balance. And when we were growing up, it was one thing or the other. It was either super crazy healthy, as I was talking about earlier, or fast food all the time.
Right.
There was not an in-between. And I know that was my mom's own struggles with things, and that's how she coped. She was an emotional eater and is an emotional eater.
I am too, big time.
But I'm really, I don't know, I'm still kind of glad I had that experience.
Yeah.
Because then it's, I don't know, I'm not going to, I can't communicate this properly, but I know her struggles have influenced me both negatively and positively, and I only want to take the positive, and I only want to move forward with the positive from that.
Yeah.
And if I can help bring her self-confidence back and give her more comfort in her own body and own skin, I'm going to do whatever I can, because
big
y'all
time.
should be.
Oh my God, we should be lifting each other up is the thing.
Always.
Especially as women, and don't always just offer support and offer comfort in, we are in this together and everyone feels this way. And, we're just we're here for each other.
We should be. Why?
And don't make it about you're way skinnier than me, so you don't deserve to have those feelings. It's no, this fucking happens to every goddamn woman I know. Literally, every woman I know. And for me personally, the biggest thing for me was my relationship with men and how I found validation from men. For so fucking long, my confidence was from validation from goddamn men. Just saying that I looked hot. Oh, I got that? Sweet. I must be hot. And it's really fucked up, because for so long, that's how I was doing it. And these were not people who cared about me. These were not people who knew the real me. These aren't people who know the Sarah, with no makeup and sweats, with a baggy shirt and a hair up in a bun. That Sarah exists. It's just people don't always see that Sarah. That's for, I would say long-term boyfriends. They see it. But these aren't people who know my soul at all, but they're literally giving me my worth based on my body and the fact that I give them sex. And for so long, that's where my confidence came from. And so when I didn't get that, if I would go through lulls of either not having sex or not always getting that validation from guys, that was not good for me. And I did not feel good about myself. And I make jokes all the time. I'm not getting laid. And I've stopped making those jokes because I don't want to rely on that for confidence anymore. I don't.
And you shouldn't have to.
And I shouldn't have to. And that's the thing. And there was a fundamental shift in me when I essentially had a very casual sex experience go wrong to a point where I broke bones in my body and this person couldn't care less. Where I was why am I doing this? This person could care less about me or my well-being at all. And I'm literally having sex with them because of the attention and how, I must be worthy because
someone wants to have sex with me.
Because someone wants to have sex with me.
Been there.
So much of my life was that, though, is the thing. And it's so crazy to me now looking back. Where I am now is so different. I'm going to have some casual sex nowadays and fucking love it. But I'm not relying on it for confidence anymore.
It sounds like that
really fucked me up.
That experience was way messed up. It also sounds like it helped you realize.
100%. And I talked about it on the Us2 episode because it was very non-consensual, and it was a casual sex partner that like I said, we hardly knew each other, really. We were banging all the time, and like he was a really bad dom, like really bad, and literally broke my ribs. And it like literally took having my ribs broken by somebody to be like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Seriously, like you're having like these really casual relationships with men because that's what makes you feel good, and that's what you think being a woman is getting laid all the time. And it's just like, what the fuck? And like, just a huge shift for me. Like, I could care less with dry spells now. Like, I might, of course I like getting laid, but like, I'm still gonna try to feel good in myself going forward without any fucking validation from men. Like, I'm just done. It's nice. It's nice. It's a really nice bonus. Like, that's what I will say. Like, that's...
But it being a bonus and not the, like...
Not a necessity.
Not the whole story is a huge difference.
Huge difference.
And, I don't know.
I've
been in a long-term relationship so long now that I can't... I definitely like attention from men and women, like, in general. Like, attention from people is nice. But I do want my own self-worth on my terms, not on somebody else's.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost have this like weird messed up feeling that I don't like when people tell me how nice I look or how like skinny I look in an outfit, because it makes me be like, you're only saying it because I look bad in this outfit.
Oh,
I have
that's
that
such a thing though that women go to though.
And I don't know why I think that, but I'm because often the days people tell me that, oh my God, you look so skinny, are days where I feel really fat. So I think because of that, like, correlation, mentally, I just always say, like, if you're commenting on my weight,
then it must be actually noticeable. And
there's something bad, and you're just, like, covering it with something positive.
I hate that.
Also not, like, a healthy way to be thinking.
I get, but and like, we fully admit, we are not perfect right now. Like, I think we could we both have lots of stuff to work on. But
100%.
But it's about changing your way of thinking and like actively changing the way you think. And it takes a long time to get there. And no matter how you get there, you get there. Like, it might be really hard. Like, what I went through was really hard. Because like I've been single for so long that like I've had 6 years of just living with myself. Like, I am my own companion, and like I'm not getting constant like validation that like I look good. And so like, you know, when I get it, it's great. But like for me, it was honestly just changing the thinking of, I'm just not gonna care what men think. And you want to know what? And like, I hate to fucking throw this cliche in here, but like the second I stopped caring was the second more men actually have been into the Sarah. So like, there you fucking go. Guys now love my body. Like, it's like the weirdest thing. Like, I'm the heaviest I've ever been, but it's like the most excited guys have ever been to be with me. Like, they are just like,
they're probably feeling the self-confidence.
Exactly.
Self-confidence and the curves.
Yeah. And like the fact that I'm comfortable in my body is obviously showing through because they're more into it now.
It's exciting.
So
and it's only going to give you more self-confidence.
Exactly. But it's a bonus, not a necessity.
Yes, I like that. Just bonus self-confidence.
A bonus and not a necessity. Like, you do not have to be getting railed all the time or getting constant like texts from guys to feel fucking beautiful. Like, you really got to find that on your own. It's so cliche, but it's so fucking true. Like, find something that makes you so happy that you don't need anyone for, you know?
My biggest change, not sure if I want this in the episode or not, but just to tell you, is I always associated in any relationship sex with love.
Yeah. If
you weren't having sex, you didn't like the person.
Right.
And now that I've been in a longer term relationship and now that I'm married, I've realized that no, your sex life goes through like ups and downs and ins and outs, and it doesn't change, at least in our case, it doesn't mean that we're any less in love or any less interested in each other. It's just like, sex isn't the whole part of the relationship. There isn't a direct correlation between having sex with someone and loving them, or wanting to have sex with them all the time and loving them more or loving them less.
So true.
But that took me a long time to realize. And there were some very dark days where I was like, we're not having sex all the time. That means he doesn't love me.
See? But like that also goes into my thing of like sex is like validation for us. Or like at least that's what's like engraved in us a little bit. And it's just so fucked up. And it can be really hard to get there. Like it's not always easy. It's not like we can all like go on like a eat, pray, love trip to Italy or something and then come back like a new woman. Like that's just not.
It's not real life.
That's not real life. It's not how it works at all.
It's messy and it comes in spurts of awesome, and then you'll be pulled back somewhere dark, and then something awesome will happen, or you'll feel really confident again. And it's a journey, and it has many different ways to go, and it stops and starts.
And it's not all or nothing. Like,
no.
I'm very confident right now, but I fucking have really bad days sometimes, and I'm still struggling with a lot of insecurities. Like, I'm still feeling like I'm, ugh. And like, I'm going to say this, and I know I'm going to hear so many people who know me just groan, but I personally hate photos of me. And like, hear me out when I say this. I'm a selfie queen. Like, most of the pictures of me on the internet are selfies for a couple of reasons. One, I'm always the person taking the photos of my friends. Okay. So they're not taking pictures of me because I'm the photographer.
Ditto.
So if I want pictures of me, I got to take them myself. But I'm still struggling with a disconnect between looking in the mirror and like being in my room and feeling hot and then seeing myself in pictures. I'm struggling with that because I'm not a huge fan of how I photograph. And it's not a big deal. It doesn't really matter in the long run. But I guess what I'm just saying is like, that's an insecurity for me. And so like, that's why I take selfies, because I have more control over it.
You can control what the end product is.
Big time.
And it's like, I feel like sometimes I don't know what I actually look like to other people. I know.
You said that earlier.
Photos. Yeah. Like, I know relatively what I look like in photos, but I know from photos that people, like, you look very different in photos than you do in real life. Not necessarily like
I do.
Good or bad. Everyone does.
Yeah.
Very rarely do you see a photo and it's like, oh yeah, this is totally what that person looks like all the time.
Right.
Like, you can capture a moment or a feeling or a pose in a photo, but it's not like you're capturing that person's essence.
No.
My photographer friends are gonna like kill me. You really can. A good photographer can.
Yeah.
And you probably should like do a photo shoot with a photographer.
Oh my god. I was literally just gonna say, there's a photographer I have in mind, that I really want to do like new cover art for the podcast, and she's also a model. So I actually met with her for coffee, and I was like, listen, like, I want a sexy ass like cover photo, like, I want this is what I want to look like. And then I was really straight up with her, and like, here we go again, going back into the insecurities, but I was just like, I hate side angles of me, and I hate like anything that looks like a double chin or like making my, and she's like, don't worry, like, I will know how to like move your body in a way, and it's not editing. Like, this is where it comes into play. Like, it is not editing at all. She's not photoshopping out my double chin or like anything like that. But she's saying like, I know how to actually like have you pose in a way that's flattering.
Ooh.
And I'm like, that's flattering for what your idea is. And that's what she said. She's like, I have this conversation with every person I photograph, and they always say what their insecurities are. And I just say like, we will make sure that like you're posed in a way that those insecurities aren't there.
Which is crazy that you can just pose the body and change
a photograph.
And you have to hope and believe that when people are looking at you day to day, they're focusing on the whole person and not just like this one weird angle where you have like 16 chins and like your stomach's hanging out. And because
that's the thing.
That's not who you are. That's just how your body looks at that angle.
Yeah. Sometimes there's just really unflattering pictures.
Looking at my wedding photos, there was a lot of them where I was like, ugh, I hate how fat my arms look. I hate how big I look in this and in that. And then I had to like be like, stop it. Look at how happy you look in the photos.
And you look so happy in yours.
And I hated myself. I hated myself because that was the first thing when I got them back where I was like, what the fuck, I look fat. And because I felt confident at the time and I felt good that day.
Yeah.
And it's not all the photos. And again, it's just that internal, like, I'd rather not admit that that's how I felt when I saw them. But
because you feel, again, it's going back to the cycle of guilt, right?
It's that cycle of guilt. And now I'm like, well, I know I shouldn't care about this. So I'm even more beating myself up even harder. But we did some photos with just me in my underwear wearing a jacket.
Oh my God.
And there's a couple photos where, like, you can see my cellulite, you can see, like, some like rashy, patchy skin, but I still look fucking hot.
Yeah.
And I look back at some of those, and those are the ones where I'm like,
your favorite.
She definitely did some editing, but like, it's me, and it's very much me. And I look at it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm sure a little bit's like the angle and how I'm holding my legs and like all that bullshit. But there's also like, this is me, and I look hot. This is such a good confidence boost.
And that's the thing about like boudoir photos and stuff like that. I'm just like, I totally understand why women do it as almost like a rite of passage in a way. Like I'm gonna fucking get naked in front of this camera and I'm gonna be sexy. Like, and I really want to do it. Like, I really think I should do it. It's nerve-wracking as hell for me, again, because it goes back to one of my main insecurities about the pictures. But it's also weird because the selfie thing has a bad reputation because people are like, you're narcissistic if you take selfies. I'm just like, bitch, no one else taking pictures of me.
We're also do it? All narcissistic as humans. We've been raised to be that way, to be concerned about our appearance and what we look like and how we're presenting and how we're like, you're gonna get mad at people for taking pictures of themselves? Like,
really though, we can't. And like, this goes back to like the whole Instagram person. Not every girl has a photographer boyfriend who can follow them around and take pictures of them looking out onto a cliff and like like all these pictures. Like, there's a lot of people who have that, and very jealous of that, but like, that's not all people. And so sometimes you just gotta take selfies. But for me, like, it's weird because I look back at the last year, like since starting the podcast and like discovering this new thing, I'm like, I've taken the least number of pictures of myself this year.
Really?
Like this past year, because I'm so fucking busy with stuff and I'm doing
other things going on, and it's
not a bad thing at all. It's actually really cool, I think, because like I'm not concerned about it.
And you also probably changed as a person in this past year, and like,
oh my God,
maybe it's like looking for less
validation.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's like validation from other people,
big time. Because now my soul is out there because I have this podcast where like you could hop on any given episode and hear literally a chunk of my soul. And that to me is more important right now than taking fire selfies. And trust me, I love a fire selfie. Don't get me wrong, but I'm doing other things.
And you will continue to change. Like,
yeah,
what you're doing now could get bigger and better. It could change in a different way, and
yeah,
you just will.
Oh my God, 100%.
Kind of cool.
And also too, it's like my idea of an ideal like relationship or dating situation has totally changed, because I'm just like, it's less about getting laid all the time and like having a boyfriend who like wants to come out in public with me. It's more about like, I want to find someone who fucking connects to me and wants to fucking talk to me rather than just bang me, and wants to have a goddamn conversation. You know what I mean? Like,
having sex is totally great, but so is all of the other stuff too.
But like, it's so much more important to me now because it's just like, that to me is more important than the outward appearance. La-di-da. This was I'm like sweating. Sweating bullets.
Well, it's big stuff to talk about. It's hard stuff to admit. Like, I don't want people to know that, like, I'm okay with people like knowing that I think these things about myself. I mean, I always try to be like, no, I'm confident and I'm happy and I'm secure. I'm okay. It's easier to admit my own faults.
Yeah.
But it's hard to admit that like I look at other people and think about how they look.
Yeah.
And I like, it's not perfect. It's not. And I don't want people to be like, oh, every bitch is judging me and everyone. It's like,
I don't think that you're judging. I think you're noticing things.
Just noticing.
Yeah. And it's also too like when you see women and you're just like, and you don't necessarily say they look bad, but you'll just be like, maybe that's not flattering on them. Or like maybe that choice of outfit doesn't flatter them. And you're not, and I guess you kind of are saying they look bad, but do you know what I mean? Like, it goes back to, and I think now
thinking it and having it like pass through your brain is different than treating them differently because of it.
Exactly.
I just wish I didn't notice those things.
I do too.
I wish I just didn't notice them.
And I almost kind of relate when I notice them. Like if I ever see a girl like walking downtown, kind of drunk, in heels, and like a tight dress that she's like falling out of, and you can tell she's sucking it in. And you can, oh my God, I love how this is when I start to tear up. And like you can just tell that she wants to get home and take that dress off and just like
be herself and be comfortable.
It makes me want to cry because I was that girl. And like, girl, just fucking wear a size larger. Like you're gonna feel so much, or wear something a little looser. Like you're gonna feel so much better, and you'll actually look hotter when you're feeling more comfortable. You don't have to wear a hockey jersey or something. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to go
pajamas to the bar.
You don't have to go that far, but like it just really hurts me because you just know that like they're sucking it in, or like they're clearly busting out of that dress, and it's like they're doing that because they feel they have to fit into that, and they don't. They don't.
And Matt, props to the women who are larger and wear something tight-fitting and are just owning it the whole time and are confident in their own skin, are like rocking it and want to do that.
And if you are comfortable in that, holy fuck, do it. Like, seriously, there's nothing hotter than a woman with, like, unbridled confidence. Like,
it's my favorite.
It's my favorite, and it's, man, I just feel like you gotta do what's good for you. Like, when do you feel you're most confident in terms of either like a clothing situation, or in what state of mind do you feel the most like, let's say the word sexy, the most sexy, yeah. You're like, I feel sexy all the time.
It's so hard. We're like, I don't know.
Making you think.
You're really making me think. When I'm wearing something that I'm comfortable in, and that I feel like I look good. So it's often like bright colors or sparkles. Yeah. Usually some cleavage. And I feel most confident when I am dancing and not caring what anyone else is thinking.
I love that.
Does not happen super often, but that is my favorite, when I'm not thinking and just dancing and looking like a fool. And because
you're a huge music person, so that makes you
love music.
That makes you so happy. So being in that zone, like
just being in that zone, and like I like having something that like twirls, like something with ruffles or a skirt, something that like moves when I move.
Oh, I love that.
I love having that.
I love that too. Do you know what? I feel most confident totally naked, and that I know that seems weird. I know that seems weird, but like, hear me out. I feel like clothes can cling to things that that you don't like so much, but when you're naked, you don't have any of that. So like, it's this weird thing of like, I'll be naked and I'll be like, damn girl, and then I'll put like jeans on, and I'll be like, can I just stay naked?
I was looking so good until I covered it up.
Like, that's why I'm just like, I love fashion and stuff like that, but like, I'm such a makeup gal because it just,
there's nothing restricting. I totally see that. You're just, this is like all of you there. Where as soon as like you put stuff on top of it, or you like,
it narrows in on things that I don't necessarily want to narrow in on. But I also fucking love some lingerie. That's just me. Like, if I put
a good fitting
stocking,
pair of underwear,
that
like fits you properly and just like accentuates your bum.
Actually, the underwear was the first thing I realized that I gained weight, because when the underwear started not fitting, I had to go to La Senza and get a size up in underwear. But I got some cute underwear.
And that's what matters. Mm-hmm. Cute underwear that fits and isn't giving you a wedgie all day or like cutting into you uncomfortably. For my 30th birthday, I went and threw out all of the underwear that like didn't fit, had holes in it,
were
like all gross. And then I like got all nice new fitting underwear. Not all of them fit right now. But that's okay. That is okay.
That's okay. That's the whole point of this podcast. Guys, we like weighed ourselves on here and like we are admitting this is fucking us and we're dealing with it. And we're learning to love it regardless.
It's going to be a work in progress.
It's such a work in progress.
I'm fully aware that this is something I'm going to have to work on for the rest of my life. And I'm hoping it's like less and less all the time. That like it's less of something I think about, less of something I worry about, less of like... I hope I can free up that time and energy for bigger and better and more badass things than worrying about how I look. But it's going to be slow. It's not going to happen overnight.
Oh my God, it's not going to happen overnight. Find things that make you happy. Do what makes you feel beautiful. Like there's this, I'm going to try to find it and read it, because there's this Dita Von Teese quote that like I still go back to. I might not be able to find the exact quote, but it's something along the lines of, don't let anyone dictate what makes you feel beautiful. And that's a key thing. So if you are someone who wants to cake on a face of drag makeup, you do that. If you want to put on a really tight dress and go out, you do. Like literally, like whatever makes you feel beautiful, you do what you gotta do. And don't let anyone make you feel bad for that. I cannot fucking stress that enough. Don't get these things into your head of like, well, guys like girls that don't wear makeup, so I really shouldn't wear makeup. No. If you fucking feel sexy with a winged eyeliner, do it. Like, I cannot, like that quote, and I don't have the exact quote, but like there's a quote by her, and it's literally like my rule with life, because I just feel like we get too caught up in the, this is how it should be.
This is how I'm supposed to act.
Yeah.
This is what I'm supposed to be doing. No.
This is how I'm supposed to look. And if I don't look this way, I'm not worth it. And it's... Do you find yourself... Do you get really intimidated by other women?
Not as much anymore. I think it's a growing up, getting older sort of thing. Same. Every once in a while, I'll meet someone who like just seems to have like really great job, looks really good, really self-confident, really friendly, really nice, and I'll be like, oh fuck, like that person's not going to want to be my friend. Like I can't be cool enough. Like I'm not enough of a person. But very few and far between.
That's good.
And because people are just people, and I think I've learned that a lot in the last 10 years. As just humans are humans.
Humans are humans.
And no matter how they look on the outside, they all have their own shit going on inside. And the things that you might think are the coolest and most confident about them might be the things they're most self-conscious about. So yeah, no, I don't get... So true. Yeah, I don't get intimidated by other women.
It's so weird because I feel like I still kind of do, but it's for different reasons. Like it used to be, she's so hot. Oh my God, like I'm so not on her level. Like she's gorgeous. She's perfect. But now it's like, I'll look at like really smart women or really funny women. And I'm like, oh damn, like I want to be as smart and funny as you. Like it's just like a different thing. It's more about personality and like intelligence, and like I get intimidated by that and not so much the looks anymore. Which I think is
fair, because you realize that like there's a lot more to life. You're confident in your own looks.
I'm done. I'm done with the energy. Jealous energy is actually literally the worst, and I've had a lot of issues with it in the past of like being jealous of even female friends of mine, and I'm done doing that. I'm just done.
Yeah,
it's not happening anymore.
I'm such a nerd. I love seeing my friends succeed.
How dare you?
But I like, in a way, like, I'll start talking about people and be like, oh, this person's in this country doing this person's doing that. They've started their own business. They're have this success. They've had these many kids. They've done like, I just get so excited about other people's successes. I see it completely separate from mine.
Yeah.
And this is one thing both of my parents did that was super positive in my life, where like, yeah, there's these like negative things about body image and weight and that sort of stuff. But the positive thing that they brought is that all you need to be a successful person is to be kind and to take care of yourself. Mm-hmm. As long as you can be taking care of yourself and you're kind to people, you are a success. And so I've felt like a success not my whole life, but they haven't had wild and crazy aspirations for me. I don't want it to seem like I'm settling, because I don't feel like I'm settling at all, but I think I have a very realistic take on life and what I want to be doing in it.
Yeah.
And I have goals for myself I'm still always setting and working towards, but I feel very confident in my own life and my own life choices that it's allowed me to be supportive of other people instead of jealous.
Instead of and trying to take them down or try to find things wrong with them, so it makes you feel like it's such a healthier mindset. Like we should be inspiring each other, not knocking each other down.
Oh, there's no need to. And it's like it's gonna hurt yourself more than it's gonna hurt the other person.
Oh my shit, yes. And And there's so much, I think there's so much character that comes from people who have these struggles in a way. It makes you so much stronger and more interesting to talk to be honest. I hate saying this, but like sometimes you'll meet people who are like just like honestly stunningly beautiful and you're just like, where's the personality? Like where is the, you know what I mean? Like where is the thing? And I think that women who have worked through these issues are just generally more interesting to me. And I've learned so much more through it. So
it's true. And I think some of those women who are classically stunningly beautiful go through a whole different set of challenges.
Oh, yeah.
And it's, just because it's not something we might be able to relate to, or we haven't encountered those, it's a whole different
We
ball
assume
game.
Because they look perfect that they are perfect, and that ain't the case. No one is perfect. Not a one. And they probably have their whole own set of insecurities and issues and stuff going on there, like, that we don't even know about. So why are we comparing?
There's no need.
Let's fucking stop comparing. That's really, like, a good way to end the show. Although it's so hard to wrap up such like a big...
Oh, and like there's 18 million tangents we could go on.
I didn't even get into like skin issues, which is like a whole other thing. For me anyway, like, oh man, there's so much more. I mean, you'll be back, right? You're gonna come back on.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna come back on.
You talked about the leg hair. I got made fun of for my arm hair.
I had that too.
Yeah,
that came with my leg hair.
My mom used to let me get it waxed.
Oh, really?
It's actually much like thinner now than it used to be.
Oh, yeah, you can hardly see it.
Hardly see it now. I'm also blonde. It helps.
Yeah. I'm jealous.
I try not to brag, but it really doesn't. It makes life easy.
Oh man, this was cathartic as fuck for me. I want to say thank you so much coming on. It was like I said, it was a doozy of an episode, and I think it's so hard. Like even when you write down all your thoughts, it's so hard to like get them out there. And I'm sure that this is going to be an ongoing series.
I feel like we only like scratched
this big time.
Only scratched the surface, and it's tough. I feel like this is my own like little mini therapy session, and
oh my god,
I appreciate it. And just even like admitting the things, that's huge, to be able to admit these things and say them out loud, because I say them in my head all the time, and to be able to share it, and perhaps in a very like public forum,
because there's probably people listening who agree and are feeling the same way, and that's what it's all about. Is connecting with people even across a mic. So it's yeah, it feels really good. So I do want to say thank you for being brave enough to come on and do this and step on the fucking scale as well. We're so brave, right? I'm saying that kind of sarcastically because really, it's a goddamn number, people.
It's a goddamn number.
Let's not fucking care anymore.
But real to see how it does affect us, and to see how getting on a scale and facing that, it's ingrained in us. Mm-hmm. And even you feeling so confident and having an idea of where you were and being comfortable with it, to see your face when you were stepping on.
Did you see? I was nervous.
Yeah. And that's real to share. So thank you.
Thank you. Woo. We're going to wrap it up. Rebecca, you do the honors and ring that bell. I don't know why I sang that.